Coming up on The Cut, anger and outrage strikes the city of Memphis after video released of cops beating Tyre Nichols, the actions the city is taking to make things right.
Also, Super Bowl 57 is coming to town. Why is everyone calling this game the Kelsey Bowl?
And lastly, NASA releases new photos of Mars. The reason is very strange.
The Cut starts now. Hello and welcome to the Cut Network. I'm Donovan Growney.
And I'm Emily Fox-Millian.
Investigators are still trying to figure out what went wrong that led to the death of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. Nichols was in Memphis when he was pulled over by police. This happened on January 7th. 3 days later, Nichols died.
The January 7th call came in around 8:30 p.m. after calls of alleged reckless driving by Nichols. Officers asked Nichols to get out of the car. After he stepped out of the car, officers took him to the ground and pepper sprayed Nichols. Nichols was able to get away.
Officers chased him for several minutes to a secondary location. When they caught up with him, officers took turns punching Nichols. A Memphis security camera caught this altercation on video.
We are about to show it to you now, and we warn you that what you're about to see is graphic in nature. Officers take turns punching Nichols. Audio from the body cam footage reveals Nichols screaming "Mom" as this is happening. The video indicates it took several minutes before medical attention was given to Nichols.
The 5 officers who were part of this arrest were part of Memphis's Scorpion Unit. This stands for Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhood. Since this incident came to light, the unit has been disbanded and the 5 officers were fired and charged. Since then, 3 other fire personnel have also been relieved of duty. The police chief of Memphis says these actions show a complete disregard for humanity.
Many people are taking to the streets in support of Nichols. Take a look here on the right. That is protests underway in Memphis moments after the video was released. Protesters blocked Interstate 55, which connects Tennessee to neighboring Arkansas. And in New York, protests were also underway. There were also protests in Atlanta, Boston, Baltimore, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Portland. And now a follow-up on the Half Moon Bay shooting we first brought you last week. We are now learning more about what led a man to allegedly kill 7 workers at 2 mushroom farms in Half Moon Bay. Investigators say the shooter, Shunli Zhao, faced a $100 equipment fine from his employer that led to the shooting. Zhao says a coworker was to blame for why his forklift was damaged. Zhao confessed to the shooting, saying he worked long hours at the farm and was treated unfairly.
In some more positive news, community members are honoring the California man who wrestled a gun from the suspected shooter in Monterey Park. Brandon Tsai was awarded a Medal of Courage by the Alhambra Police Department on Sunday. On Lunar New Year, a shooter ambushed 2 different dance studios, killing several people. The shooter entered the Lai Lai Ballroom and Studio in Alhambra, where he was met by Tsai. Tsai wrestled the firearm away from the shooter, who then fled the scene and shot himself after becoming surrounded by police. Tsai also received a call from President Biden last week. Police say he saved several lives.
Investigators are trying to figure out the cause of a suicide bomb in Pakistan that killed at least 100 people. 217 people were also injured. This happened at a mosque in Peshawar, which was just north of Pakistan. This is footage of the attack as soon as it happened. Police predicted the suspected attacker used more than 25 pounds of explosives to carry out this attack. Pakistan police are also investigating the incident. A new law in Arizona is set to hit the books that could extremely limit the way people can access public records in the state of Arizona. For more on this story, here's Cut reporter Tyler Abrams.
This past week, the Arizona State Legislature approved a measure that exempted itself from Arizona's public records law. According to NBC News, this public records law is intended to allow the Arizona public to publicly request state records if an investigation is needed. However, this new measure allows legislators to delete any emails sent by them or their staff after 90 days. These new rules were spearheaded by GOP lawmakers of the Arizona House and Senate chambers. Additionally, the Arizona State House has also shielded government text and communications on online platforms from being accessed by public record requests if they were, quote, sent or received on non-government devices. This means that if said documents, emails, or communications are not currently present or needed in an ongoing investigation, they can be deleted from public record after their retention period. On the other side of the spectrum, Democratic lawmakers have harshly criticized the measure, calling it an abuse of power. On the contrary, Republicans that voted for this law have stated an intent to protect the legislators' privacy. You may be wondering how lawmakers were able to pass this measure. Well, since the measure was approved by voting for a rule change and not a vote for new legislation, lawmakers did not require Democratic Governor Katie Hobbs to sign off on the measure. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Tyler, for breaking down this important report.
As we approach a full year of the war between Russia and Ukraine, there is now another push for international support to aid Ukraine. Members of the United Kingdom welcomed Ukrainian troops over the weekend. This was to train them on the new Challenger 2 tanks the UK was giving to them. These new tanks are in addition to the 31 Abrams tanks the US is giving to Ukraine and 14 Leopard 2 tanks Germany gave out. This move comes ahead of concerns about Russia leading another wartime offensive in the spring.
Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail for his 2024 re-election bid. He held a campaign rally on January 28th in New Hampshire and South Carolina, both likely battleground states in 2024. This is the first campaign rally Trump has held since declaring his run last year. Trump took aim at a number of controversial topics during his speeches, including his long-going legal issues stemming from the previous election and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Trump says he is more focused than ever when it comes to winning the White House.
A stolen ambulance has now been recovered by police. This is the ambulance that was stolen. This happened early Sunday morning. The ambulance was stolen from Banner Estrella Medical Center in Buckeye. Police managed to catch the 28-year-old driver and arrested them. This is not something uncommon for Buckeye, as this is actually the third time an ambulance has been stolen since 2014. Buckeye Fire now says they will implement protocols to start locking their doors.
We now have an answer to M&M's costly game of will they or won't they? Ahead of the Super Bowl, the Mars company is announcing that the M&M's spokes candies are returning. Days earlier, the company had announced they would be eliminating their spokes candies and replacing them with comedian Maya Rudolph. Spokes candies are M&M's way of being more inclusive in a changing world. You may remember the green M&M lost its heels when the spokes candies were introduced last year. In September, the company also introduced a purple M&M to promote body positivity.
They are calling it the Kelsey Bowl. The Super Bowl is coming to Phoenix, and we now know who is playing: the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Each team actually has a brother facing off against each other. The Eagles took on the San Francisco 49ers in Philadelphia. Everyone says the Eagles trounced the Niners, beating them 31-7. The 49ers lost quarterback Brock Purdy in the first quarter. Their backup quarterback, Josh Johnson, also suffered a concussion, so Purdy came back in. The game was very chippy, with several fights breaking out. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Cincinnati Bengals as well, but this game was much closer. The game came down to the last second, with the Chiefs' future in doubt as star quarterback Patrick Mahomes faced injuries but played through. Patrick Mahomes led the Chiefs on a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. It all ended with a controversial late hit out of bounds that put the Chiefs in field goal position. The Eagles are favored to win the Super Bowl. The Women's Soccer League could get even bigger in the United States. There are new reports out that the National Women's Soccer League is considering adding new teams in Boston, Utah, and San Francisco. The league currently has 12 teams after adding a San Diego-based team and an LA-based team last year. Teams in San Francisco and Utah could be in as soon as 2024.
A new skater is taking the figure skating world by storm. Cut reporter Alana Goodman is here with what this could mean for the future of U.S. figure skating program. Alana?
Thanks, Emily. Ilya Malinin is one of the more advanced skaters in the United States. He is the only one in history to land a quadruple axel in competition on Sunday during the U.S. Figure Skating National Championships. He stunned the crowd in the short program by completing 2 quads and a triple axel. The one element that we were all waiting for was the quadruple axel. It is one of the jumps that hasn't been executed many times in national or world competitions. He attempted the jump throughout the long program. Although he made a few mistakes in the long program, Ilya attempted the quadruple axel but didn't land it and finished with a total score of 287.7 points. Malinin was 10 points above Jason Brown, who took silver, and Andrew Torgashev, who took the bronze medal with a score of 177.2 points. Malinin says he was a little disappointed with his mistakes and hopes to do more training and practice before the next competition so that he is fully prepared and ready to land the quad axel. The 18-year-old has a bright future ahead of him. He trains with his coaches and parents, Tatiana Malinina and Roman Skorniakov, who are also Olympic skaters, and alongside world-renowned coach Rafael Artunian, who has coached many Olympic figure skaters and champions. I'm Alana Goodman, reporting back to you, Donovan and Emily.
Oh my God. Thanks, Alana. The world will be watching during the next Winter Olympics in 2026.
The Super Bowl is coming to town, and many are excited for Phoenix to be the host of another major event.
But if you have been on Twitter in recent days, you may have seen a promotion of the city that does not look quite accurate.
Take a look at this tweet from the City of Phoenix Twitter account hyping up the big game. Do you see it? Many users are noting the doctored portions of the image, including greenery and more prominent mountains.
Many are clowning the city on Twitter, including Maricopa County, where the city is in. They said on Twitter, quote, "Ah, yes, we love Phoenix, one of many beautiful cities here in Maricopa County, Arizona," unquote. Note the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign and the cartoonish-looking sun.
Here at The Cut, we like our fair share of space news, wouldn't you say, Emily?
We do, and here's another one for you. In December, scientists managed to get a high-resolution photo of Mars, and the photo has come to light again, with many doing a double take. This is what it looks like. There are 2 craters at the top and a kind of canal forming down at the bottom. Scientists say this feature could be formed by mud or a volcanic eruption. Everyone else, well, they think this formation kind of looks like a bear. This is actually more than a mile long. This photo was released by NASA, Caltech, and the University of Arizona. Seems like they are taking bear down to a whole different level.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it this time.
You see it?
Yeah, I think it looks like a bear. Definitely looks better than that sun thing they had us look at
Yeah,
last month.
I agree. I do think it looks a little bit more accurate. Thanks for joining us this week. Stay tuned for the latest by checking out our YouTube at The Cut Network.
You can also follow us on Twitter at The Cut ASU. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, where we put together a special behind-the-scenes look at our show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Donovan Growney.
And I'm Emily Fox-Millian.